There was a time, not long ago, when I had nothing but a whisper, a simple word, and a vision that would not leave me. I did not chase the money. I did not run after opportunity. I sat still and I spoke. This word, which I shall reveal soon, was not magic in itself. It was the belief I wrapped around it, the feeling I poured into it, the certainty I carried when I released it into the atmosphere. You see, the world teaches you to strive, to toil, to bleed for your blessings. But the truth is, reality bends to your inner world. It listens not to your effort, but to your assumption. So when I sat alone in silence, I did not ask for $70,000, 0 cents. I did not beg, I did not plead. I said the word and I imagined what it would feel like to already have it, to see the number in my account, to feel the peace of financial ease, to smile as if the money had arrived. And I felt it real. The word I spoke was receive. That's it. I didn't say I want money, I said received. And when I said it, I meant it. I spoke it once in the morning, and again when doubt knocked on the door. But each time I wrapped it in faith, clothed it in gratitude, and breathed life into it. Received. As if I had already opened the envelope. As if the alert had already pinged on my phone. As if the money had already arrived. And in 5 days, without effort, without force, without telling a soul, $70,000, 0 cents came. Unexpected, unexplained, but not surprising. Because the moment I felt it, the moment I assumed it, it was done. You don't need to chase the blessing. Speak from the end. Use the word that declares, it is finished. Your word is power, so choose it well. Speak it boldly, and then walk in the world as one who has already received. Because when you believe you have it, the world has no choice but to deliver. A word is not merely a sound that escapes the lips. It is vibration, frequency, intention. It is the subtle language of the unseen world, shaping what is yet to be seen. You may walk through life believing you are just speaking casually, but every word you utter is casting a spell upon your mind, your body, and your reality. When you speak, you are not simply communicating with others, you are affirming something to yourself. Words do not vanish, they take root in the invisible soil of consciousness and grow according to the energy behind them. This is why idle talk is never truly idle. The words you declare in moments of frustration, of fear, of lack, they do not go unheard. They are not lost in the air. They are recorded, impressed upon the subconscious, and returned to you as experiences. Everything begins within, and your words are the bridge between the inner and the outer world. When a word is spoken with conviction, with belief, it becomes an imprint, not on paper, but on the substance of your very reality. It becomes a vibration that reshapes matter. It is not the dictionary meaning that holds power, but the emotion and awareness behind it. If you speak of abundance while secretly believing in lack, the vibration you emit is still lack. But if you whisper a simple word, wealth, health, peace, and believe it, feel it, and dwell in it, then the world must mirror that tone back to you. The subconscious mind does not argue. It does not question what is true or false. It simply accepts what you consistently feed it, especially when spoken aloud with feeling. Words create states, and states create conditions. If you repeatedly affirm that you are tired, broke, unloved, or lost, then so shall your world reflect that. But if you deliberately shift your language and begin to declare yourself whole, prosperous, guided, and already fulfilled, then the subconscious rearranges your path to match that declaration. There is no such thing as an empty word. Every syllable carries a charge. This is why those who understand this law become masters of silence as well. They do not speak against themselves, even in jest. They speak with care, with intention, knowing that each word is an instruction to life. You are not merely describing your world when you speak. You are constructing it. Think of a word like received. It is not simply a past tense term. It is a vibration of arrival, of certainty, of possession. When you say, I have received, while holding the image and feeling of that which you desire, you are impressing the subconscious with the end. You are not hoping, you are declaring. That vibration must be matched. The law does not fail. You receive not what you beg for, but what you claim is already yours. In the beginning was the Word. That is not a religious statement. It is a metaphysical truth. All things are spoken into existence. Before anything manifests, it is first declared. Whether in thought, in quiet prayer, or aloud, it is the word that begins the process. If your life is not reflecting what you desire, look not to others or outer conditions. Look instead to the words you have been speaking about yourself, about your worth, your future, your faith. Your words are seeds, and the soil is always fertile. Speak not what you fear, speak only what you choose to make real. Speak with reverence. Speak as a creator, not a beggar. And understand this: the moment you speak from belief, the moment you attach feeling to the word, you have set into motion a vibration that will echo throughout your world and return to you in form just as you commanded. So speak carefully, speak with certainty, for the word you speak today is the life you shall walk in tomorrow. Imagination is not a tool for daydreamers or artists alone. It is the divine faculty through which all things are conceived and brought into being. Every structure, every invention, every fortune, they all existed first in the mind of someone who dared to imagine them. Wealth, too, begins not in a bank account, but in the quiet inner world of thought and vision. Before it can appear in your hands, it must be seen in your mind. Wealth is not earned through strain alone. Many people work hard their entire lives and remain in lack. Others, with seemingly less effort, rise into abundance. What separates them is not luck or circumstance. It is consciousness. It is the inner assumption of wealth. You cannot receive what you do not first accept as possible. And not merely possible in theory, but real and present in your world of imagination. Most people live in a state of wanting. They want money, they want success, they want freedom. But want is not possession. It is the state of not having. When you dwell in the feeling of wanting something, you confirm its absence. Your imagination must not be a place where you long for what you do not have. It must become the sanctuary where you already possess it. It must be real to you there before it becomes real to you here. Imagination must be used deliberately. You must train yourself to retreat inward and build the life you desire in vivid detail. See yourself already in possession of what you claim. Walk through the rooms of your dream home in your mind. Hear the sound of the luxury car as you start it. Taste the richness of freedom, the calm of security, the ease of abundance. Do not imagine yourself trying to get it. Imagine yourself already having it. This inner vision is not fantasy, it is creation. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It takes your inner pictures as commands. If you feed it scenes of wealth, of confidence, of ease, it must rearrange your outer world to reflect that pattern. The law cannot be broken. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are conscious of being. To become wealthy, you must first be wealthy in mind. This does not mean spending recklessly or pretending with others. It means living in a quiet, knowing that wealth is your natural state. that you are not trying to become rich, you are simply aligning with what is already yours in the unseen. The imagination is the first and most sacred step in this process. Without it, all effort is misdirected. Every great transformation begins with the shift in perception, not of the outer world, but of the inner self. Who are you when no one is looking? What story plays in the theater of your mind? If you continue to imagine struggle, lack, and limitation, your world must comply. But the moment you assume the state of wealth in your imagination, the moment you walk, speak, and think from that state, you begin to call it forth. You cannot move toward what you are unwilling to claim within. Imagination is not weak. It is the birthplace of every miracle. Begin now to use it wisely. Close your eyes and feel what it means to have already received. Not to hope, not to wish, but to know. This knowing will change you. And once you are changed inwardly, your world must follow. Imagination is the only door. Through it, all things flow. Use it to see yourself as already in possession of the wealth you desire. Live from that state, think from that state, feel from that state, and the outer world will have no choice but to reflect the richness you have already claimed within. To assume the wish is already fulfilled is to step beyond the veil of time and claim the end as now. It is not to ask, nor to beg, nor to plead. It is to stand firmly in the knowing that what you desire has already been granted. In the realm of spirit, in the unseen world where all things are first created, your desire already exists. It is not becoming, it is. When you speak the word, you must not speak it as a request. You must not speak it as though it was something far from you, still on its way. That is not faith. That is lack. To speak with the vibration of please let this happen is to admit that it has not yet occurred. But to speak with the vibration of thank you, it is done, is to impress the subconscious with finality, and the subconscious always reflects the impression it receives. Creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire already exists in a higher plane. You are not creating from nothing. You are selecting from what already is. The act of assuming the wish fulfilled is the act of choosing your reality. It is a spiritual claim, a declaration not to the world but to yourself. It is an inner conviction that what you have imagined is not just possible, but inevitable, and even more than that, already yours. Do not look to your senses for confirmation. The senses will often contradict your desire. They will show you the bank account with little in it, the phone without a call, the job not yet offered. But those things are echoes of your previous state. They are not predictors of what is to come. What determines your future is the state you occupy in consciousness. If you persist in the assumption that you are already the one you desire to be, the outer world will rearrange itself to mirror that truth. Speak the word not with uncertainty but with authority. Let every affirmation you declare be rooted in the present moment, not the future. Say not, I will be healed, but I am whole. Say not, I hope I will be successful, but I am already thriving. Speak as one who knows the power of the unseen is greater than what appears. Speak as one who has already crossed the finish line, even while the world still sees you at the starting gate. This inner shift is subtle but powerful. When you assume the wish fulfilled, your body changes, your tone changes, your energy changes. You no longer chase, you no longer doubt, you no longer check constantly for signs. You rest in the knowing that it is done. And this rest is not passivity, it is power. It is the calm of one who has planted the seed and trusts the harvest. Faith is not hoping, faith is knowing. It is the deep and quiet confidence that your imagination is reality, that what you feel inwardly must outpicture itself in due time. The key is persistence. The outer world will try to tempt you back into doubt. Circumstances may seem unchanged, but hold the feeling, stay faithful to the state of already having, and soon the world will yield. It cannot resist the one who lives from the end. You are not waiting on life. Life is responding to you. Every assumption you hold is a request fulfilled. The universe does not delay to punish. It waits for alignment. The moment you align with the end, not by effort, but by assumption, the shift begins. Speak your word as if the thing were already so, and you will call it forth with a force stronger than action. The force of belief. So today, right now, walk in the assumption that what you desire is already yours. Think from it, not of it. Feel it in your bones. Speak not as one who seeks, but as one who has found. For what you accept inwardly as true, the world will mirror without hesitation. Your inner world is the birthplace of all creation. Long before anything shows itself in form, it is born in the secret chambers of your imagination, your feelings, and your inner speech. The conversations you hold with yourself, the images you dwell upon, the feelings you cultivate. These are not private moments without consequence. They are the blueprints of your external reality. Nothing comes to you from the outside that you have not already called forth from within. You may believe events are happening to you, that circumstances are random, but this is not so. Everything you experience is the echo of your own inner vibration. The outer world does not shape you, it reflects you. It is a mirror held up to your inner dialogue. If you speak within yourself words of lack, doubt, fear, and limitation, you will find those very things appearing around you. Not because life is cruel or indifferent, but because the law is exact. You do not receive what you wish, you receive what you are in consciousness. To wish is not enough. To speak richly within yourself is to dwell in the state of already having, already being, already fulfilled. Listen to your inner conversations. Are they conversations of wealth or of worry? Do you speak from a place of confidence or concern? Every word spoken within is a command issued to the subconscious, and the subconscious never questions, it only obeys. If your internal speech is rich, if it is filled with gratitude, assurance, peace, and abundance, your world must respond in kind. Most people live unaware of their inner speech. They allow the mind to repeat old fears, old rejections, and old stories of lack. They believe they are being realistic when in truth they are being habitual. The truth is not what you see. The truth is what you accept. And once you accept a new story inwardly, there is no use in begging the outer world to change if the inner world remains the same. You cannot plant seeds of scarcity in your mind and expect to harvest prosperity. You must first become the new version of yourself within. You must begin to speak to yourself as the one who already has. Say, I am wealthy. Not because your bank account confirms it, but because your consciousness demands it. Say, I am loved. Not because another tells you so, but because your inner self has decided to dwell in love. This shift is not always easy. The world may try to pull you back to the old self, the familiar story, but the one who masters their inner world is free, free from circumstance, free from appearance, free from doubt. When your internal speech becomes disciplined, rich, and aligned with your desires, nothing in the outer world can resist the transformation. You must speak as the person you are becoming, even when there is no evidence, especially when there is no evidence. That is the test, to look at the current facts and still say, it is done, not with arrogance, but with faith, not because the world says so, but because your inner world has declared it. Your life is not controlled by fate, chance, or luck. It is shaped moment by moment through your awareness and the speech that flows from it. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are their creator. So begin today. Speak within yourself as the one who has already received. Let your thoughts be rich, your words abundant, your feelings full of joy and certainty. The world outside is only a screen. What you project upon it is your own inner state, and the projection will never lie. It will always show you exactly what you believe, accept, and affirm within. Change your inner world, and you change everything. A word, no matter how often repeated, is powerless without feeling. It is not the repetition of the phrase that moves mountains. It is the emotional conviction behind it. The feeling is the secret ingredient. When you speak a word and do not feel its truth, it passes over the subconscious like a shadow. But when you feel what you speak, it sinks deep, takes root, and blossoms in your world as reality. You must not merely say, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am healed, as mechanical phrases. That is noise, not creation. But if you say, I am, and allow your entire being to resonate with the feeling of already being that which you declare, then the word is clothed in power. It is energized by belief, by awareness, by presence. The subconscious is not moved by logic. It is not persuaded by evidence. It does not understand facts in the way the conscious mind does. It responds only to feeling, the language of vibration, the frequency of belief. That is why a single word, fully felt, can do more than 1,000 thoughts that are not. When you feel a thing, you live in its atmosphere. You enter its state. To feel abundance is to momentarily become abundant. And when you persist in that feeling, you stabilize the state within you. And what is stabilized within must become visible without. This is law. So when you speak the word pause, let it enter your being. Say it not just with your mouth, but with your chest, your breath, your spine. Say it from the end, from the result, not the request. When you say, I am free, what does freedom feel like in your body? How does your breathing change? How does your posture shift? How would you walk? How would you look? How would you carry yourself if it were true right now? This is the art of conscious creation. Not to recite, but to embody. You are not hoping the words will work. You are knowing they already have. And this knowing is not mental. It is emotional. It is vibrational. That is the key. Many wonder why their affirmations do not work. It is not because the words are wrong, but because the words are hollow. A shell without the breath of life. Life is breathed into your words when they are saturated with feeling. Feel it as you speak it, and if you cannot feel it yet, then imagine what it would feel like. Use your imagination as a bridge to emotion. The world you experience is shaped by your dominant feeling. If you feel poor, the world echoes poverty. If you feel unworthy, you attract circumstances that confirm it. But if you feel wealthy, feel blessed, feel chosen, even while appearances say otherwise, then you have placed yourself in a new reality, and the world must catch up. You do not need to control the how. The bridge of incidents will unfold itself. Your job is to remain faithful to the feeling. Let the feeling dominate your inner world, and the outer world will follow. This is not fantasy. It is the creative process itself. So do not speak words out of duty, speak them out of conviction. Do not say them just to say them. Say them because they are the truth of who you are becoming. Say them until they no longer feel foreign, but natural, until they feel like home. The feeling is the secret. It is the power behind the prayer, the energy behind the word, the force behind the form. Speak your word, and then feel it fully. Let it stir you, move you, awaken something in you. And when it does, know this: creation has already begun. Repetition alone does not create. It is not how many times you say a thing that matters. It is the state from which you say it. A single word spoken with absolute conviction carries more power than 1,000 words uttered without belief. It is not the noise you make, but the energy you embody. Real transformation begins not when you say the word often, but when you say it once and truly feel it. Many people become obsessed with rituals and routines, believing that if they say their affirmations long enough, something will eventually shift. But they overlook the most vital ingredient: belief. The creative force does not respond to empty repetition. It responds to the truth you accept as your own. Repetition can be helpful, but only if it is used to build belief. If it becomes mechanical, it loses all value. It is persistence in the assumption, not the habit of mouthing words, that impresses the subconscious mind. The subconscious is impressed through feeling, through certainty, through the consistent holding of a state. To persist is to remain loyal to the vision of your desire, not just with your lips, but with your imagination, your reactions, and your inner speech. You may only say it once out loud, but you must continue living in the feeling of that truth until it hardens into fact. Persistence is not struggle, it is not strain, it is not trying hard to believe. Persistence is quiet confidence. It is the refusal to mentally return to the old story. It is the steady, calm dwelling in your new identity, even when there is no external proof, especially when there is no external proof. That is when the power of persistence is revealed. You do not plant a seed and dig it up every day to see if it has grown. You plant it and persist in the knowing that life is at work below the surface. So it is with your words and your beliefs. Speak them with sincerity. Feel them with depth, and then persist in the knowing that creation has already begun, even if your senses do not yet confirm it. If you say, I am wealthy, but continue to worry about money all day, your inner state is still poverty. If you say, I am love, but doubt your worth, your inner speech contradicts your affirmation. The outer world does not reflect what you say. It reflects what you consistently feel and accept as true. That is why one moment of real conviction, one declaration that stirs your soul and anchors itself deep in your awareness, is more valuable than hours of lifeless repetition. You must feel the truth of your word. Let it become your inner atmosphere. Let it become the lens through which you see everything. Persistence means to refuse to entertain the opposite. It means that when doubts arise, and they will, you gently bring yourself back to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not by force, but by trust, by the inner decision that this is now who you are. Feed the word with faith, not desperation, with expectation, not pleading, and then live as if it were already yours. That is persistence. That is power. Remember, creation is finished. Everything you desire already exists in the invisible realm. Your task is not to make it happen, but to align with it, to live in the state of already having, to persist in the awareness of fulfillment, no matter what appearances say. You don't need to repeat the word endlessly. You need to become it. Let your entire being declare, it is done. Then rest. Rest in the truth you have spoken. And as you persist in that silent inner knowing, the world must shift to match it. Not by chance, not by luck, but by law. What you speak, you shape. But even more than your words, it is the belief behind them, the feeling within them, and the state you persist in that turns the unseen into the seen. One word, deeply felt and spoken from the end, can rewire your entire reality. You are not waiting for change, you are the cause of it. Your imagination is the workshop of creation. Your feelings are the fuel, and your persistence is the evidence of your faith. Speak from the place of knowing, not hoping. Feel what you say. and let it saturate your being. Assume it is already done and remain there, undisturbed by appearances. That is the real secret. That is how one word can attract not only $70,000, 0 cents, but a new life entirely. Thank you for listening. May you speak with power, feel with depth, and persist with grace. Your world is listening.